You know, have you ever wondered what the hell all these films are for? Look at all these different things. And even giant ones like this. If you ever wondered, stay tuned. Coming up next. Film photography, right? That's what we are talking about today. If you haven't seen the last video, please go check it out. After this, you still can watch this one first. It doesn't really matter. So I'm back into film photography. Film meaning film, not moving pictures. Film. Like this is a film roll, right? This is actually a black and white one. You can tell by the silver that's on there. If you haven't grown up with film photography, you don't really know what the heck I'm talking about. So I got back into film photography a long time ago. And then I got into the whole lomography scene, which is analog photography. They have a website, lomography.com. And yeah, it was they had a big following, and you can have your own little page, and you can show your pictures, and there's competitions, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So the films I used the most then was 35mm, which goes into the regular most common cameras. I'll show you one. It's actually my favorite camera. It's a Canon AE1. My approach to photography is not all the stats and all the technical terms. I just use it to take pictures that I like and, you know, that please me. I don't really care about any of the settings and stuff. I mean, sometimes I play around with it a little bit and look it up online and, you know, try to, but other than that, I'm more into the art of photography. I like soft and I like contrast and all that. I don't care how sharp the picture is and how many details and, you know, no, none of that. Anyway, so this camera, now I have to figure out how to, yeah, so you open it up here. This is semi-automatic, I guess, kind of, because it has an automatic focus function, but you also can use shutter function, but you can also use it manually to focus. Like, you still have to manually focus, but it won't let you take the picture till it's focused. But there is a manual function on here, so you can totally manual the whole thing. So you open up this thing, usually, yeah. See, you pull this up. This is where you rewind the film, and then it goes in here. So I'm not gonna do the whole thing here because I'm not ready to shoot with this right now, but it goes in like this. So it goes in here. With one hand is a little tricky. And you need to put this down so it stays, doesn't move. Okay. Pull it over, and then here's some slots to put it in. And then you feed it in there anyway. You close it up and you rewind it. You wound it up till the number 1 comes up here. There's where the focus one's there. That's where the picture counter is. The little point and shoot cameras are the same. They use the same film. Like I said, this is black and white. So there's also color versions of this. It's a color. See, it's different. It's not a silvery coating on it. It's this brown stuff on it. But this one actually is a chrome slide film. So remember back in the day, maybe you have seen with these square frames, white frames with the negative in it. Put them in there, and then you could put them in a projector, and then you could look at them on the big screen. It was kind of cool. I remember my aunt had one. They went on vacation and we had a slideshow, picture show, so it was kind of neat. So the differences between this one and regular film, which I don't seem to have right now, is there are different chemicals to develop the film. So that's the thing. you need chemicals to develop it. So if you bring it to the lab, which there are not that many anymore, but you know, you can send it to them too, but sometimes stuff gets lost in the mail, happens to me all the time. Then then you lost all your pictures. So you can do it at home. I have done it at home, but I'm not very good at it. The regular film is just developed, and then you get it back into this. You can get it framed like this, or you just get them back like this here. I'm gonna take this. See, they're in this. When you, I don't know if it's going to focus or not. You can't probably see what's on there. Maybe I'll take one out. You're not supposed to touch them, because every time that you put a fingerprint on it, if you want to make prints from it, they show up. So you can kind of see that there's something on there, right? Okay, so that's 35. Then we have the 110. Back in the day, there were these little, really handy, almost looking rectangular cassette look-liking cameras. Every time I took a picture, it had, that's how they advanced the film. You always had back out and then click back and forth. So all you do is just stick that in there, close the lid, and start shooting. It was actually really cool. My mother had one, and the format is different. When you get the prints, it's not the same. They're a little smaller and wider. I do have a camera here, and but that's not one of them. It's actually an SLR camera that is 110 format. So this one is a color one. It says Fuji color on there. Here is black and white. This is from the lomography people. So you can get black and white too. I'm thinking of selling this one because it wasn't exactly easy to take pictures with it. It's really complicated. So it's how advanced, and then I think I showed you this one in the last one. It needs batteries, so I think the batteries are done. It's tricky to get it developed because 110 is harder. Not everybody has the right whatever technique to develop them. So this is a Diana. This one takes these ones. They're wider at 120. You can see it says somewhere 120 on it. Focus it. Anyway, this is exposed. So when the film is done, it shows on the other side it says exposed. So open up the back, and then you take this out, put it on the other side, but I'm not doing that right now. And then this one goes in here, goes in here, yeah. Technically it goes from this side to this side, and then the roll, this thing goes on the other side, and then it's, yeah. Anyway, this frames you can put in here, yeah, and then take pictures. It looks like this when it's done. And it's supposed to be stored actually flat, because this is a pain in the butt to put it on scanner and scan them. Actually, it's probably the easiest way to do it with a phone if you have the right frame to put it in to hold it in place. Okay, so these are 120. I have more, but I don't know where they are right now. And they're done with the Diana, so they're soft. And they have light leaks apparently, so I gotta try to put a black tape over it. You probably have seen Polaroids before, right? This, which is the equivalent to like that. And they're in a black cassette, so it's like this one, but bigger. And the film shoots out that way. So I'm gonna show you the camera. This is the camera. There you go. This is where the cassette, the big one, would go in. And you close it. And then the one black one comes out just to show that it actually advances. The viewfinder right here. And that's the lens. These are called Super Shooter Polaroid land camera. You open up the back. That, and then you put fancy film in there. So this one has a blue, it's called the blue, so it has a very blue tone to it. There's 10 in it and 8.5 by 10 by 8. That's the size. That's how those pictures look like. This is very dark, underexposed. It's cool because you get a printout right away. You don't deal with negatives. That's the blue. And then there's a brown, it's called chocolate. I really actually like this one. It's got a brown tone to it. There's a lot of light glare. But you kind of can see it. There's a very fancy kind of SLR sort of rangefinder camera. They're huge. They're like those big ones they used to use for doing portraits. And I used to have one, and it took like some really cool pictures. Then there is the Polaroid back. So if you have a camera, a toy camera, as they call these plastic things, you can take this off, the back off. There's a big and a small Diana, both have that. And then you put this thing on here. Can't remember how it goes. Here, pretending it stays on. Can't remember what I did. It's not hard to do. Goes on here, and then on the back here is the opening, and then you put this film in here, pretending this is empty. You slide it in here, you close it, and you can take pictures with this. And then they come out here. So this is called the Polaroid back. And again, this really worked very well at the beginning, and then, I don't know, usually there's light leaks and stuff, but you know, Polaroids are tricky too. So this is a cute little pictures you can take with it. I took this picture. And so on. And I took it actually skiing one time. I took some pictures for my kids skiing. Here's one of them. Yeah, it's soft, obviously. I think the main thing is I used to really enjoy doing all the soft focus and the fun and interesting pictures. Taken with my Canon, it's really cool. I loved it. This came out really good. It was just through the trees, the sun. Out in the other. That's fun. Also with the red film. Again, the first time around, these cameras work really well. This one is taken with the fisheye, but with the regular color negative underwater camera. Lots of fun. Daughter played outside. If you want to get into photography, that's kind of film photography and want to be more like experimental and artsy oriented, then recommend to go to the Lomography site and check out what's this all about. They have all articles and different films, talk about different films and cameras, and yeah, there's lots of information on there. And you can join them if you want. It's free. You just get I think it's free. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm still on there and I don't pay, so yeah, it's free. And you can upload your pictures and other people can look at them and decide and say what they like and what they don't like. And you can, you know, exchange concerns you have or whatever, or get, you know, ideas. So yeah, I think that's a great way of, if you're into that more fun and experimental photography. The problem with these films are they're getting expensive, but there's cheap films sometimes on eBay. You can buy a whole bunch. They're sometimes expired and sometimes not. kind of have to, when they're expired, I think you have to overexpose them, I think. So then they should still work kind of okay. Depends how old the film is and how the film is stored, I guess. And Walmart, I think, still sells, or Walgreens in the States as well, still sells Kodak Gold or Kodak, the regular Kodak, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that film. It looks okay. Yeah, it doesn't have the fine grain or too much contrast, blah, blah, blah. But I actually like contrast. I don't really care much about the details of a picture, really. So that's not me. But some of maybe you like that. I don't know. Yeah, just go out there and have fun, and yeah, maybe just buy a point and shoot camera and see how you like it. Maybe you have one laying around. Maybe your parents or your grandparents have a camera, and you ask them, maybe you can use it, and yeah, start shooting. Like, again, the film is just, some of the films are expensive, so I wouldn't start with the expensive films. Just go to Walmart and see if the drugstore or somebody has still some film you can use. They're obviously more money than they used to be, because back in the day a film roll was $2 or $3. Now they can go up to 10, 12, who knows how much dollars, again, if they're the fancy kind. I don't know, these ones, can't remember how much these are, so if you want to get into that, it's more tricky because it's hard to get them developed. I hope that helped you to getting into film photography a little bit more. Talking about the film and different kind, yeah, the basic of film. There's black and white, and there's sometimes color tinted, and there is chrome, which is slide film. And those three are kind of different chemicals you use for developing them. You can cross process, as it says. You use them, then they have you get a different result. So yeah, again, Facebook has lots of groups. You can figure out what to do, and the best thing is just to start. And it's can be frustrating at the beginning because you got to get the focus right and blah blah blah. So make sure you have a good functioning point and shoot camera, has autofocus, so you get that right, and then you can expand or take the next step. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe. Check out that old other video from last week when I talked about cameras. And probably next video will be just going to show you. It's just going to be a slideshow talking about my favorite picture I ever taken with those different kinds of cameras. Have a good day, and make sure you check in next time when I show you more of my film photography.